Welcome to my Oddity shop. It's rare to see someone like you in here. Most people tend to shy away from a place like this. But you... No. You've come for something special, haven't you? I can always tell. There's a certain look in your eye, a curiosity that won't be satisfied by anything ordinary. You've heard the rumors, the whispers, I'm sure. The stories about the haunted dolls. You're here for one of them, aren't you? Now, these aren't just any dolls. No. These are vessels. Each doll houses a spirit. A lost soul has found its home inside a pretty little figure. Some are gentle. Others, not so much. But every one of them has a story. And if you take one home, you'll be taking more than just a doll. You'll be bringing their past, their spirit into your life. I have 5 that are currently available for adoption. Shall we begin? This is Matilda. Isn't she lovely? Classic beauty. Porcelain skin, golden curls, wide blue eyes that seem to sparkle in the candlelight. She's wearing a simple pink Victorian dress, trimmed with delicate lace. She looks like she could be anyone's cherished childhood doll, innocent and sweet. Don't be fooled by her appearance. It's actually not Matilda who's living in there, you see. It's Lydia, the girl who once loved her. Lydia was a little girl in the late 1800s. She adored Matilda with all her heart, taking her everywhere. But when Lydia fell ill with scarlet fever, she clung to Matilda in her final days. Her bond was so strong, her spirit refused to pass on. Now Lydia lives inside the doll, watching over anyone who takes her in. She's not dangerous, but, well, she's lonely. If you take Matilda, or Lydia, home, don't be surprised if you hear soft humming at night. These are her lullabies. Sometimes you'll feel a little tug at your sleeve. That's Lydia's way of asking for company. She just wants to be near someone, wants to be seen. You'll find Matilda moved from where you left her, always wanting to be closer. Okay, now the next one. Edgar. He's not what you'd call delicate. Edgar's carved from old wood, his face rough and cracked with age. He wears a faded, tattered sailor's uniform, and his painted eyes have an uncanny way of following you. No matter where you stand. Edgar's story is a tragic one. Edgar was once the cherished possession of a sailor who perished in a storm at sea. His ship was never found, lost to the depths of the ocean. But somehow, years later, this doll washed ashore. It's said that the sailor's soul is bound to Edgar now, unable to rest. He's protective, fiercely so. But there's something you should know. Edgar hates water. Keep him dry. He'll watch over you like a guardian. But if you let him near water, well, storms have a way of finding their way inside. Some say they hear the sounds of waves crashing, groaning of wood when Edgar is nearby. He may just bring the sea in with him. Now, here's little Sarah. She's a simple, sweet doll, made of cloth, mismatched button eyes, bright red yarn for hair. She looks like the kind of doll a mother might have lovingly made for her child. And that's exactly what happened. Sarah was a little girl who passed away far too young. Her mother, devastated by grief, made this doll in her memory pouring her sorrow and love into every stitch. Over time, Sarah's spirit found its way into the doll, and now she lives on through it. Sarah is a playful spirit, you see. She likes to move things, small objects, trinkets, leaving little surprises for you to find. You might hear her giggling softly when the room is quiet, or feel her presence flitting through the shadows. But there's one more thing you must remember. Sarah's terrified of the dark. Never leave her in complete darkness. She gets frightened, and her playfulness might turn into something a little more unsettling if she feels abandoned. Keep a light on her, and she'll be a joyful companion. This one is the widow. She's different from the others, isn't she? This one is an 80s fashion doll with long blonde hair and big blue eyes. She's wearing a shimmering green evening gown, glamorous in a way that feels frozen in time. Her story, on the other hand, not one of glamour. The widow was once a woman who lost her husband in a tragic accident. Her grief consumed her. When she passed, her spirit couldn't let go of the sorrow, and it found its way into this doll. Now, the widow carries that grief with her. She doesn't move or speak, but her presence, you'll feel it. A heavy sadness, like a weight pressing down on your chest. People who've taken her home say they sometimes wake up in the middle of the night, overwhelmed by a sense of loss. And if they've just said goodbye to someone they've loved. She doesn't mean any harm, but the sorrow with this one is intense. She will remind you what it feels like to mourn. And finally, here we have Mortus heraldos. His name is old, ancient, like something whispered in a forgotten tongue. This doll is far older than the others. His face is rough, almost eroded. His clothes are nothing but rags hanging loosely from his frame, and his eyes, empty, hollow pits that seem to stare right through you. Heraldus is an enigma. Some say the spirit inside him is a trickster. Others believe it's something darker, far older than the other spirits here. He likes to play with those around him. Things will go missing, only to reappear in the oddest places. You'll hear whispers in the dead of night, just as you're about to drift off to sleep. But whatever you do not challenge him. Heraldus doesn't take kindly to being tested, and while he enjoys his games, his temper can turn quickly. Keep him entertained, he'll stay mostly harmless, but push him too far, and his tricks will become something far more sinister. So, which one of these dolls speaks to you? Which spirit will you bring home today? Ah, the widow. A quiet one, yes, but her sadness is a heavy burden. Be sure you're ready for what she brings. Now, before you leave, there are a few things you should know. Never leave her alone for too long. She does not like to be ignored. If you feel as though she's weeping, let her be. And always keep her where she can watch you. She prefers to stay close, but doesn't need too much attention. Just don't forget her. Best of luck with your new doll. Spirits are delicate things, and sorrow has a way of lingering. Treat her kindly and she'll be a quiet companion. And if you ever feel the need for another doll, you know where to find me. Let me just get that wrapped up for you. Farewell. Let's hope she finds the comfort she's been seeking.